Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my 2026 Q1 reading wrap up. Oh, shit. The fact that we're already over a quarter of the way through 2026 is not really sitting right with me. But what is sitting right with me is the reading that I've done so far this year. I've read 15 books so far this year, and my goal for 2026 is 50 books, so we're on track. And I've been doing like 5 books a month. And technically, I didn't in March because I didn't finish this last one until April 1st, but we're still going to talk about it. But I did also read Zodiac Academy book 8 in March, and that was 1,200 pages. So we're going to go through every book I've read in the order I read them, what I rated them, what I thought about them, if I would recommend them or not. And I've read some really good books so far this year and some that were not that good. So let's get into it. The first book I read was The Wolf King by Lauren Pelfreyman. Did I enjoy reading this? Yes. Did I rate it 4 stars? Yes. Do I think it's overhyped? Yes. It's not bad. It is good. I do still stand by my 4-star rating, I think. But I feel like when I read this, and even still now, the hype around this is like a lot. I like the story. I enjoyed reading it. I think just with like when I'm thinking back on it, I'm not like, oh yeah, that was the best time, is because these characters are kind of forgettable to me, especially in this book because we don't start getting into Blake, which I think is the only character that's semi-interesting until book 2. But in here, what's her name? Rory and Callum, they're boring. They're both boring. Like I don't really know what else to say about them. But I did read her first and then I went straight into The Night Prince. I did enjoy this one more. I did rate them both 4 stars. Thinking back, I would probably give The Wolf King like 3.75 or 3.5, and then The Night Prince still 4 stars. I definitely liked this one a little bit better. I think I started to actually like Aurora a little bit more. She was giving a little bit more personality. And then, like I said, Blake is really the only person I actually kind of care about in this series as of now. I am still going to read The Wolf Queen, which is book 3, which I think comes out in like October or something. I know it's this year. I am still going to read it because I want to see what happens. And I did enjoy these. I just feel like there's a lot of hype around these, and I don't really, like, I haven't thought back on it since reading it. I haven't been like, oh, I missed that, or I want to like get back into that. I just haven't had those thoughts. So I would recommend reading them because they are a good time. It's just not that memorable of a story for me. I do love the covers though, so I have these sitting out on my bookshelf because they're beautiful. Next, I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. This was my first time reading anything YA, I believe. I'd been hearing people talk about this series for like years, but what always held me off from starting it was that everyone said you have to read Caraval first, and I didn't want to read Caraval first. I don't know why. I just didn't feel gravitated towards it. But for some reason, seeing people talk about this series, I was more interested in this one. So I just read this one. I didn't read Caraval. A lot of people say you should read that first. If I would have read that first, would I have liked this even more? Maybe. I don't know. But I liked it a lot on its own. Book 1, I gave 3.5 stars. Book 2, which I think is my favorite, I gave 4.5 stars, and the same for book 3, 4.5 stars as well. My favorite part of this trilogy is the world. I think if I could pick any world to live in, it would be the Magnificent North. The world building and the way it was described, it just sounds like the most whimsical, magical place ever, and I want to be there. The little baby fire-breathing dragons that are just like around, I need them. So one of my favorite worlds, and something that I heard a lot about YA because there's not spice, is that the yearning ends up being so much better, and I think that's true. If you want something that's whimsical and magical, but like also, I'm pretty sure this made me cry. It's very descriptive where you get put in, like I really feel like I was transported into this world, but it's still an easy read because a lot of times fantasy books with a lot of world building can get like confusing. This isn't that. This would be a good like palette cleanser trilogy. I also just love a trilogy. I feel like it's the perfect length, but yeah, definitely recommend for a happy, whimsical, magical time. The next book I read was Hollow, which this was my first 5-star read of the year. I definitely expected to like this because it is the same authors as Zodiac Academy, the Twisted Sisters, and I know I love the writing from Zodiac Academy, so that was really the main reason why I bought this. Also, it's just so beautiful. Like, hello. And really anything with dragons, I'm probably just gonna buy it. I really enjoyed this. I felt like it was a more unique story for a romantasy. It was an easy read, kind of like a trial type situation, but different in a way that it's not like kings and queens and like princes and princesses. I feel like that's how trials normally are. My favorite part about this book was the connection with the animals, or the spirits as they call them in the book, including the dragon. But they have that like mind connection where they can like talk to each other like in their heads, like with Fourth Wing and the dragons and Direbound with the direwolves. I love love that in a fantasy book. What even was her name? I can't remember anyone's name. Ferris and Hendrix. I also didn't find the FMC or the MMC boring. I thought they were both pretty interesting on their own and together, and they had good banter together. So I loved her. I'm excited for the next book, and we already have a release date for book 2 Lightwing, which is June. Oh my god, already? The next book I read was The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, and this is where things took a little bit of a turn. I have some thoughts about this that are a little bit different than my initial thoughts that I said in my whatever month this was, February reading wrap up that I posted on Instagram and TikTok. I rated this 4.5 stars. I'm changing that. The more time that's gone on since finishing this, the more I'm like, I didn't really have a good time reading this. And I just remember when I was reading this, like the hype around it, and I just kept thinking during it, I'm like, am I too stupid to appreciate this? Because everyone says it's like the best book they've ever read, and I just like wasn't getting it. I can acknowledge that the writing was beautiful, but I just wasn't like hooked. Like I had to keep forcing myself to pick it back up. It felt like such a chore to like finish, and it's not even that long. I really didn't start enjoying it until like the last like 25%, honestly. Was the end so good? Yes. And it is like a very different, unique romantasy story. Maybe because it was also like kind of historical fiction-y, and I don't really ever read that. Maybe that kind of threw me off a little bit, but thinking back on my time reading this, like I just really wasn't having a fun time, and that's why I like to read, because I just like to have a fun time. So if you're looking for something that's romantasy, but it's a little bit different, maybe a little bit more intellectual, not even that like this is like an intellectual book, it's just not one of those like easy breezy reads that you don't really have to think. Like I was thinking and I felt stupid. It is a beautiful story overall, and the writing is really good. Just don't go into this being like, oh, another fun romantasy that I'm just gonna be like giggling, kicking my feet, having the best time ever. It wasn't that for me, at least. So honestly, if I had to go back, maybe like a 3.75 stars I would give it, just because I just wasn't having that good of a time. But the cover is beautiful, and I mean, I'm glad I read it. Next, I read the, what is this called? I know what the books are called. Is there a name for the duology? Six of Crows duology. This has been on my TBR for so long. It was just one of those series that like I had heard people talk about ever since like I got into the book space, and so it was always just kind of there in the back of my mind that I wanted to read it, but I really didn't know anything about it. I enjoyed these. I rated Six of Crows 4.5 stars and Crooked Kingdom 4.75 stars. My favorite part about these was the found family aspect. I love that. Like if you loved ACOTAR, the found family aspect, how they all just became so close, this has that. The only thing that I think held me back from giving them 5 stars was I didn't love like the world. I would say it's more fantasy. The romance part was definitely more of like a subplot, and there is magic involved, but it wasn't like a lot of magic. Like there's people with powers, but not everyone has powers, and a lot of like the fighting or like the altercations is not done with magic. They're just like shooting and stabbing each other. So I think I expected more of a magical element that you'd find in like a typical fantasy, but it is a good time. Like I did find myself wanting to keep reading just to see what was gonna happen next, and I would recommend these. It is more of a unique fantasy story. It's also sad and heartbreaking at times, but also like I was laughing at times, which I like when they can laugh and it's not always like super serious. So I would definitely recommend these. Okay, next I read Harry Potter. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the first one. My mom, sister, and I wanted to start a book club, but they read more contemporary romance and I read more like romantasy. So we were like trying to decide on something that we all would actually want to read. So we decided to read Harry Potter because we've all seen the movies, but I don't think any of us actually ever read the books. And we know that we all like the movies and that they'd just be like an easy read. So we decided that together we're gonna read 1 book a month. So in February we read the first book. So then we all watched the movie, and then we like talked about like the differences between the book and the movie. It was fun to read, but it also wasn't something like that I wanted to keep picking up, because I wasn't like, what's gonna happen next, because I already knew everything that happened from the movies. But it also was fun. I don't think I've ever read a book after seeing a movie like this before, so I basically just felt like I was watching the movie in my head the whole time, even though there are some things that are different in the books. But I'm excited to get into some of the like later books, because I really only remember the first 3 movies well. So once we get into like the end, I feel like I'm gonna be more like locked in. But I rated it 4 stars because it was a good time and it was just like nostalgic. Okay, now we're getting into what I read in March, and March was a really good month. First book I read in March was Half City. This is one of my top 2. My top 2 books of the year so far are tied. I can't decide which I like better, but Half City is one of them for sure. I had so much fun reading this. It was an easy 5 stars. I like knew it was gonna be 5 stars from the beginning. There is a lot of hype around this right now, but I don't think it's overhyped at all. I eat up anything in an academy setting. This is in an academy setting. She's a demon hunter. He's a demon. It's just a really fun time. I also really like Kate Golden's writing. Like after I finished this, I'm like, what else has she written? And I literally immediately me and Allie both went and bought Dawn of Onyx, which is the first book in another trilogy by Kate Golden, because I just loved her writing so much. I literally could not put this down. The way this book made me laugh so much, like laughing out loud. The banter between the friends in here was so good, and it really made me miss Zodiac Academy. So I actually did get back into Zodiac Academy later in March, which we'll talk about, but I literally cannot wait for the second book, Cursed City, to come out. It comes out in October, and I actually just applied to get an arc of it. I really hope I get a freaking arc of it. And Kate Golden actually literally today followed me back on Instagram, so I literally loved her. Also, I just love this book, like the actual physical copy. I love the cover, and it's just like a good size. It just feels good, and I love paperbacks that have this like harder, stiffer cover. I don't know. Ugh, so good. Definitely read this if you haven't read it. And even if like, I feel like even for people that aren't super into like fantasy, I still think you would like this because it's not a lot of world building. Obviously there's magic because they're like demons, but like magic systems aren't intense or anything like that. And I feel like world building and like complicated magic systems are what can turn some people away from fantasy. It's an easy read. It's so entertaining. The story's so good. The romance is so good. What's the guy's name? Reed. I love Viv too. None of the characters were boring. There was a good bit of found family kind of coming together. I feel like it's going to be even stronger in the next book, like the group of friends. And there were some twists at the end that I did not see coming. Next, we have a book that I wanted to like so bad that I just unfortunately really kind of didn't. And it's Our Vicious Oaths by Annie Davenport. It had all the things that I really normally enjoy. Fighting kingdoms, kings, princes, princesses, arranged marriage. There's literally freaking dragons. I don't know if it was because I was still coming off of the half city high I was on, but I was having a hard time wanting to pick this up. Also, can we just talk about the actual physical copy of this book? Why does it look like it's been read thousands of times and existed for hundreds of years? I literally bought it a month ago and read it in like less than a week. I don't know why it looks like it's so destroyed. The cover is beautiful though. But I was just getting kind of bored. The characters, like, I don't know. They weren't necessarily boring, but I didn't feel connected to any of them. And I don't feel like this a lot, but there were times that I felt like the smut was taking away from the plot. Like it got to a point where I was like, okay, like there's been enough smut. Like, can we like see what's gonna happen like with the actual story? The smut was written well. Like the smut was good, but it got to a point where it's like, this is no longer adding to the story. They're just like doing it a lot. I ended up rating it a 3.5. Thinking back, I would probably give it like a 3. It's not bad. Like I didn't hate it, but I kind of just wanted it to be over. Next is Daggermouth. This is tied with Half City for my favorite read of the year so far, and it's not even a fantasy. This is the first dystopian book I've read since I read Divergent in like high school. It's also the first non-fantasy book that I've read in over 2 years. The first fantasy I ever picked up was ACOTAR, and that was like 3 years ago, and ever since then I've only read fantasy or romantasy. Until Daggermouth, people were just hyping it up so much. I really liked the cover, and I was intrigued. I feel like dystopian still gives like fantasy vibes. I think I love fantasy because it transports me somewhere else. Like I don't like to be in the real world. I read so I can get out of here. So dystopian still does that because it's not like the real world, even though it's getting a little scary. This was so good. So good. Like I want to read it again. This is another one I knew before I finished it was going to be 5 stars. All of the characters are interesting, even the secondary characters. There's an aspect of found family in here as well. True enemies to lovers. And it's also just like sad and heartbreaking. All of the men in here are top tier. Top tier bookmen. Grayson, Callum, and Jameson. I love all 3. And I did not see what was coming at the end of it. I literally could read it again right now. I literally couldn't put it down. If you haven't read this yet, the hype for this one, there's a lot and I think it's all valid. Read it. I really don't think you'll regret it. And then, like I said, Half City got me missing Zodiac Academy so much that I went back and I read book 8. I read books 1 through 7 of Zodiac Academy, all pretty much back to back, all last year, and I just needed a break because like I simply couldn't handle like my heart being broken over and over and over again. But I love Zodiac Academy so much. Those characters are some of my favorite characters ever. And after reading Half City, I just missed them. So I read book 8. This was over a 1,000 page book, which was psychotic. And did it rip my heart out just like all the other ones? Yeah, it was really traumatic actually and sad, but it was nice to be back in this world and with all these characters. I mean, it made me laugh like all the other Zodiac Academy books did, and also made me cry like all the other Zodiac Academy books did, but it's just so stressful. It's hard to explain that it's so good, but it's just like so upsetting at the same time. But I'm happy that I kind of dove back into it, and I just need to finish it now. I don't know if I should read 8.5 or if I should just go ahead and read 9 and call it a day, but I feel like 8.5 might be crucial to the last book, but I'm gonna finish it this year for sure. This series is always gonna hold a really special place in my heart. Oh, this one was called Sorrow and Starlight, by the way, book 8, and I rated her 4 stars. Okay, then the last book that I started in March, I didn't actually technically finish this until April 1st or April 2nd, but we're still gonna talk about it because today's what, the 3rd or the 4th? And it's finished now. Look at me just like really branching out. This was my first dark romance book and I was scared. I've always been a little bit scared of dark romance because my preferred level of spice is like 2 chili peppers out of the 5 chili pepper rating, like 2 to 3. And I know a lot of dark romance books, like the spice is like a lot of spice. So I think I was a little scared, and I will say I wasn't ready. I was definitely like taken aback at first. I even texted Allie at the very beginning when I first read maybe like 100 pages or something in, and I was like, I started this book, like people say they love it and I'm not really enjoying it. Once I got into it a little bit more, I could not put it down. Oh, am I even gonna tell you what it's called? This is Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. This is the Souls trilogy. I've seen so many people talk about this. This and this trilogy, which I'll tell you about in a second, are probably like the top 2 most talked about dark romance series that are like Lights Out, which I do want to get into Lights Out soon. And I found this at my used bookstore and I was so surprised to like see this there, just because I was like, I hear people talk about that all the time and say it's so good, so like who got rid of this? So I think I got it for like $10 or something, so I'm like, okay, I'm obviously gonna buy it. And then I just started it. Like I said, once I go over like the shock factor of the type of spice that's in dark romance books, then I could really get into the story, I think. This first book is about Leon and Ray. Leon's a demon, Ray is a human. I actually also have the second book already, so that tells you what I thought about this one, because I am definitely going to continue, but the next 2 books follow like different characters, but it's all the same world, same story. I loved Leon. I definitely liked his chapters better than Ray's. Ray, she wasn't necessarily boring, but I don't know, I just found like Leon's POVs a little bit more interesting. I had a good time with this. It's an easy read. I couldn't put it down. I read this in like 3 days, I think, and I am going to be reading book 2 soon. I didn't go straight into this because I picked up this. I did end up rating this 4 stars, and I think this was a good first dark romance for me to read. I am definitely gonna get into book 2, but I didn't go straight into book 2 because the same day I bought this, I also bought this. I think I just got excited because I was like, wait, am I gonna like explore a whole new genre? Because wait, I kind of think I like dark romance. And this I think is the series in dark romance that I hear most people talk about. They also say that it's like the darkest of the dark. And I was like, you know what? Let's just dive in head first. So before I continue with the Souls trilogy, I just wanted to see what this one was about. And I hear so much about Mr. Cade Mitchell in this book, I just wanted to meet him. I started this 2 days ago. We're about 60, almost 60% through. Same story, different day. I can't put it down. Again, the shock factor, this, like, it's insane. And I never thought I would be one to like be able to read books with themes that this one has. I always thought that would be hard for me, but I'm finding it a little bit more of like I don't know how to explain it. Some of the sensitive topics in here, I always was scared to read because I thought like when there's themes that I've seen in movies that I hate, like I just can't stand to watch that stuff in movies because it like kind of triggers me. But something about reading it in characters like this that you feel so bad for. I don't know. I'm not having as difficult of a time with it as I thought I would. I don't really know why that is, but yeah, no, my jaw's on the floor constantly with the things that are happening. Like, it's fucked up. A lot of it's like not easy to read. Like some things I'm reading, I just have to kind of like, whoop, keep going, not really think on it too much. But I'm obsessed with Kate already. I'm obsessed with Stacy too. I really like them both. I'm really sad for them both. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to just stop and read something else after book 1. Like this one feels like I might have to go straight into book 2 and just finish the whole trilogy all back to back. If you're gonna read this, definitely read the trigger warnings. I didn't. I didn't read this content warning page before I bought it because I was like, everyone just says it's super dark, like it'll be fine. And then I got home and I read that content warning page and I said, oh, I was a little scared to start. I'm still a little scared, but I'm doing better with it than I thought I would. And I mean, the writing's so good. Like I was hooked from the first chapter. So yeah, I feel like I might rate this very highly. But I am feeling like proud of myself that I'm like exploring all these new genres this year. I really always just thought I would only ever read fantasy and like I don't really care to branch out. And I know people would like talk badly about that, like not branching out, but I was like, girl, I like magic and I like to be transported to a magical fairy place, and that's just where I want to be, which I still do. Fantasy is always going to be my favorite, but I'm having fun doing some other things. I also started using Fable this year because I've always used Bookmaree, which I love Bookmaree, and I still use, that's what I've been using to go through and remember what I've read. But you can't follow people on Bookmaree, so I did get Fable because I tried to get a Goodreads, and Goodreads is stupid and ugly and it sucks. But Fable is cute and fun and fresh. And I like it. So you can follow me on Fable. My name is just Doots, and I have been going through and writing reviews for everything I've been reading. So if you want to check that out, you can, and you can also see what I'm currently reading and then what I have lined up next. But yeah, I do want to get Lights Out. I know the third book just came out, and I've been seeing some TikToks about Lights Out for whatever, probably because the third book just came out. And it seems like it's like funny, like it's dark romance, but it's like funny. And I love that. So I definitely want to get that. Some other things I'm going to be reading soon are The Spark of the Everflame. What else do I have sitting and waiting? I still need to read A Vow and Vengeance and We Who Will Die. Oh, I'm gonna read Phantasma and Enchantress soon, I think, as well. Because I'm in my dark romance thing right now, but I know I'm gonna have to, like, it's gonna be a lot soon, and I'm gonna need to take a break from it probably. So I definitely have some other fantasy things lined up, and there's so many good sequels dropping this summer. Furybound is my most anticipated release of this year, and that comes out, May? So I'm definitely gonna read that when that comes out. What else? Lightwielder, the sequel to Metal Slinger. Ballad of Fallen Dragons, the sequel to When the Moon Hatched. Oh, also Starside just came out by Alex Astor, and that looks really good too, so I want to read that. I have so many things I want to read. I want to read Anathema and Eldritch so bad, but I'm pretty sure the third book, Phasmora, comes out in October, so I'm like trying to push off so I can read them all more closely together. I have so many things I want to read and not enough time. But you guys let me know what your favorite read of the year has been so far for you. Also, let me know if you've read any of these books and what you think about them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna keep doing these, I think, every quarter. And let me know if there's anything else that I should be adding to these videos. But yeah, I've been having so much fun sharing like my book content with you guys. I do primarily share it over here, but also like getting more comfortable with sharing it on Instagram and TikTok as well. It's been really fun. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.